Hello, Ross. How you doing? Oh, no sound.
I muted myself. That's why.
Oh,
Good evening. I am hardwired tonight. No Wi-Fi, so I should be a little clearer. Unfortunately, I haven't invented anything to stop this glare in my glasses. But
well, I got new ones and they don't glare. You have to spend some money. That's the
I'm
thing.
representing the Savannah Bananas tonight, whose game I went to on
Well,
Friday night, making baseball fun again.
Look who I'm representing, because
Los Teros.
yeah, we just beat Los Pumas B, okay, with Peñarol.
Watch out! I did Peñarol doing well, and then we have obviously USA playing Chile. Is that Easter weekend?
That's like in June.
Oh, it's in June. I'm not sure why I had it in my head. It was anyway.
No.
I just saw tickets going on sale, so yeah, it must be a little further down the road. Obviously, USA need to win that to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, but Chileans.
All right.
Hey,
welcome to episode 44 of Talking Florida Rugby Occasionally. Semi-final weekend. Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't have as many upsets. When I say upsets, the road team only won one game in the semifinals. And here are our state finals. Let's jump right into it. We have no sponsor tonight, so thanks a lot, everybody. We have no sponsors tonight. That's all right. We will still continue penniless.
Hey, let me say something. It's 50%, my fault, because I'm not really good at doing that. Okay, calling people up.
Neither am I.
Asking for sponsorships, because when I do, normally I get a good response. I just don't get to it.
Maybe FRU Rugby should sponsor us now that they're going to have a half trip to UCF instead of a 7-hour trip to Tallahassee for the semifinals. We'll talk about that nonsense in a little bit.
Yeah.
But first of all, let's congratulate those that have made. Are these times for sure, Charlie? Are you confirmed with these times in Titusville?
Yes, sir. I got official information.
The wife just said yes. The wife just said yes as well.
Sorry.
The wife just said yes as well, so they're confirmed at 4 p.m. That's not good to see the ladies in the premier spot. So in Division 4, Tallahassee, who have had a great season and deserve to be there, although they scraped through against Okapi. We're going to talk to some of the Tally boys and the Okapi boys from that 39-38 barn burner up in the state capital in a little bit. And Gainesville, who got off to a rough start this season, but started to pick it up as the season went on and knocked off. I think Daytona were undefeated. I think, weren't they, Charlie, or they lost?
They were undefeated. Yeah, 6-0,
and held them to 3 points at home in a quarter in a semifinal win yesterday. In D3, Palm Beach Brevard, Charlie. I don't think we ever get bored of that, do we?
Well, I was hoping for the Pellies to
yeah.
Because obviously Palm Beach is the strongest team, but I was hoping the Pellies could do a little upset over there at Brevard. But I did hear it was a very intense game from the referee.
They're coming on, Pellies. They've been coming on the last couple of years. And Brevard, also got off to a bit of a stuttering start. Remember, they barely beat Jacksonville up in Jacks, but came through in the end. And we'll have that matchup that we've had the last couple of years. Maybe at least last year, but one of the biggest D3 matchups we've had in a while. And then D2, Tridents versus Tampa. I think the matchup we all thought it might be from the start, Charlie. The two top seeds from each division. And then on the women's side of things, Tampa obviously haven't played in like 3 months now because they didn't play a semifinal. They will take on Fort Miami. We'll have some guests from Fort Miami on in a little bit here. I was trying to see if the esteemed Brie Cocos was on yet, but she's not. So, what you want to start off with D4, Charlie? How do you want to, as we have the Tallahassee boys?
We don't have
the road back.
No, those are the Okapi boys.
Okapi boys, sorry, the Okapi boys on the road back from Tallahassee.
I was expecting the Mike Gomez to be on. I don't know.
Gomez is probably taking a nap somewhere.
Yeah, he's banged up from his game.
Well, let's bring the Okapi boys in as they're on the way back. Hopefully, they're not in the middle of Florida with no signal.
Well, that's what seems to be happening because I see there's no video.
Corey, if you can hear us, turn your camera on. Oh, there he is. See that?
Yeah.
Okapi Wanderers. Where are you guys at?
75, about an hour away from Weston.
So great, in the middle of the Everglades. Great. So we're definitely not going to lose signal in these next 5 or 10 minutes.
Hopefully not.
One of the longest trips in Florida rugby. You guys went up there this weekend after a great season and in the playoffs and took on Tallahassee. And what a game it was, guys. I heard about the last play when you guys were inside their 22 and just couldn't punch it in. But give us your view of the game, Corey and Stephen, whoever else wants to yell in there safely.
Oh no,
Who's your driver? Who's your driver?
Steve Sheehan is
Steven,
the
right
driver.
here.
Oh, okay, hi, Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
Then we got our passenger Mason over here.
Yep.
I'm in the back seat.
He had the easy job,
Exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, the game was tough. Tallahassee got off to a really fast start. I think they were up like 20 points at one point, and then towards the end of the first half, we started to pick it up, and then going into the second half, it just kept going, and it was back and forth until literally the final seconds. And yeah, the last play of the game, we just couldn't punch it in. Their defense held, and that's what happened.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Tallahassee. They're basically South Georgia, so we don't see much about them. What did they bring to the game?
Oh, they're big and fast, and they know what they're doing. They're physical, so every hit was brutal.
Yeah.
My shoulder is actually pretty much broken, I think, from hitting one of their guys. So yeah, they're rugby players.
Yeah.
I remember last year at the final, that was how they basically won that game, because they were like first 20 minutes, they would just run over you.
Yeah.
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 I think they have a pretty good, probably, mental state when they go into the game, and if you don't overcome that, which you almost did,
Yes.
it's hard to catch up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were very focused and locked in. They weren't talking only to themselves. So, they were locked in. They wanted it, and they got it. Congrats to them,
talk to the ref?
obviously.
No talking to the ref.
Yeah, or us. Like, we've had a lot of issues this year, with teams arguing with us, but, that's mainly us. But Tallahassee was great. They, no arguments, no nothing. It was just rugby, clean rugby. So it was awesome.
I'm glad to hear it. That's a long way to go if you're going to deal with any nonsense. So I'm glad it was a tight, competitive, fair game. Let's talk about Okapi as a club and the season. Obviously you guys came about, was it 4 or 5 years ago now? Sort of been gradually getting better and better, getting those flow of the guys coming from high school and sticking around. What's been the key to this team's success this year?
We just have a good core. Honestly, we have 6 to 8 guys that just work hard and do a lot for the club.
Yeah.
Oh,
There he got into.
All the time. So,
You're breaking up a little bit.
Just growing and growing. Oh God. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
No, that's okay.
yeah, better now.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're just, we came out, Gavin gave us a plan to build a team, rebuild a team, and then we've been following that plan. It's been working. We started with 8 guys at the beginning of the season, and now we have 30 plus. So we're turning the corner, and hopefully we can stay on this road. We're going down the right path.
Is it a plan of the club to move up at some point?
Yes. We would like to stay in D4 for a little bit, maybe win some championships there, and then when we're ready, go to D2, and then we can have a B team for D4 as well.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to compete for South championships and beyond. Obviously, D4 is only Florida at the moment. Nobody can progress from D4. Although it's at the moment, I think it's the biggest division we have, isn't it, Charlie? With 15 teams and
Absolutely, yes.
And plenty of competition. There's obviously a couple of teams that don't tend to show up, which I think you guys may have benefited from. I would hope, both in the same county as you and being able to perhaps snag some guys from there that wanted to play. There's a look at Okapi's, which was an undefeated season until yesterday. Some impressive results there. I still remember that 67-40 match. I forget who refereed that one. 107 points. A couple of forfeits, which obviously we don't like to see, but Chai doesn't even have the referee on there, so he's fired.
That's probably your fault. That is your fault, probably.
But it's great to see the Okapi boys coming through. And obviously, U19s will be in the quarterfinals this weekend, so I assume you'll be out there cheering them on Saturday, and encouraging those boys to in their quarterfinal match. Who are they playing, Charlie? I can't keep up with all this stuff.
Naples.
Naples.
Yeah. I think you might be right. Yeah, there was a bit of a discrepancy in the standings. FRU had one team with 3 wins when they only had 2. So all the matchups that I had in my penciled in were completely wrong. So yeah, I know Gavin's done a great job. I know with you boys. Did he go up to Tallahassee or was he too busy?
He went up with us. We got a van. He drove the van there and back.
Nice. Did you guys go up Friday or did you go up Saturday morning?
Some of us went Friday, and then others went Saturday morning.
Did Gavin fly up? He's probably got a private jet somewhere with his
Knowing him, probably.
with
Just
his
tell us about it,
company.
though.
He's got all these connections. He knows Ernie Els real well. I could just borrow his private jet. I'm sure he's got a private jet.
Probably.
Well, listen, boys. Yeah, go ahead, John.
I have just one last question. Corey, tell me about your kicker, because in these games, when you lose by a point, if you're the kicker and you missed points, it always sort of falls on you.
Yeah, we had a few tries that ended up being in the corner, so it was very difficult kick to make. And, he just couldn't get it. He's good at kicking, though. He's awesome, but it's just those corner kicks are sometimes difficult to make.
You should have taken one of your U16 kids. They really kick good.
They're a different breed. They all like to kick. That's all they want to do.
Yeah, ton of talent coming through. You just got to keep them around in Western and not allow them to go back to Argentina or wherever.
Exactly.
I also have to say it's really nice to see you guys with that spirit coming back from a game that would have put you in the final, which would have been a huge thing for you guys, of course.
Yeah.
And you're not like bitching about the referee or just, you acknowledge that the other team, deserved it. You could have deserved it also, I guess, because it's such a tight game. So that speaks very well of you guys.
Yeah. I told my team, they should be proud of what we accomplished this year. Obviously, it sucks to lose, but we got to be proud of what we just accomplished this year. So that's the mindset we have.
I saw a picture of Mike Gomez all bloodied up. Who was that?
Yeah, who can we give credit
I don't
for that?
I don't know who hit him, but he was bleeding. Oh, was it you?
It was
this guy. And then he knocked somebody's tooth out.
Okay, you got it.
It was a
Okay.
brutal game.
He
Mike
probably
needs,
deserved it.
he needs some sense knocked into him, does Mike? He's a good guy, but he needs some
He's
sense
a
knocked
funny
into
guy.
him.
He's a funny guy.
He is good. He is good. And he's a good friend of the pod. Well, gents, have a safe rest of your drive. Great season. Congrats
Thank you.
on reaching
Appreciate
as far
it.
as you did, and we'll. I'm sure I'll see you out on the pitch somewhere. Hopefully, surfing sevens, June 4th. So I hope you guys have a team out there for that.
Absolutely.
We'll try our best.
Some guys
maybe
like to
not
train for
Corey.
sevens. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, me,
yeah,
no,
exactly.
definitely
Exactly.
Tell them I'll coach. I'll coach.
Just because of the shoulder, I'm saying. Just because of the shoulder you mentioned.
Oh, Gavin.
Yeah, definitely because of the shoulder.
Definitely not because of the running.
Oh,
No,
look at this guy.
Somebody-
Look at this guy.
Somebody must have heard us talking about him. Are you already back, Gavin?
Sorry, guys, I'm out having dinner, but happy to join you for 5 minutes.
No, that's too much. We'll give you
Yeah,
two.
well, Gavin, let's talk about these boys and what a season it was for you guys. It ended, in defeat, but a very close defeat, and from what Corey's saying, a very hard-fought game on Saturday.
Mate, honestly, like yesterday, what those guys did was phenomenal. I think at one point, they were like 27-5 down in the first half, and the tide began to turn right before half time. And then I just said, maintain that when you go back into the second half. Second half, they just every couple of minutes we just kept ticking up points, and I think it got to 32-31, and then it was just back and forth for the last 10 minutes of the game. Really, genuinely a good game to watch. I'm looking forward to actually watching it again. For any sort of anybody that's a neutral fan of the game in Florida, they'll genuinely enjoy it. It was good quality rugby and end-to-end stuff, and a heart-stopper, quite frankly. It was excellent. The lads have done themselves really proud. Like, it was, I think, at the beginning of the season, Corey might have already mentioned it, but we had like 6 guys turning up at training at the beginning, pre-season, and we ended up with, even like last week in the quarterfinals, there was 7 guys. I couldn't even get them on the field. There was 30 guys turned up to play. You know what I mean? So it's nice turnaround. And then the guys did really well. And all credit to Tallahassee. They pinched it from us right at the end. So it was really good game and a really classy group of guys. Obviously, showed us a good time. We had a few drinks with them and pizza and everything at a nice location. Live band afterwards. Perfect rugby day, other than not winning, really.
Yeah, I can't believe you guys didn't get much rain till the end. I was looking at the radar, hearing stories from Tampa and Orlando. I said, well, Tallahassee must be getting hit too. It was just scraping you guys. Luckily, you're not going to have to drive through that tonight. But Gavin, just talk about, before I let you go, how obviously you were a start. You've been at this program since the start. how far along is this team, and where can they go from here? How far up can we go here with that puppy?
That's a good question. Like last night when I was, when we were sort of wrapping things up, I said to the guys, listen, if you maintain this momentum and go into next year with the same squad of lads that are finishing the season, and just keep adding guys, maybe it might be in a couple of years re-entering into D2. You know what I mean? And if we can get 30 guys at training this year, maybe 40, 50 the following year, and just keep building it like that. Maybe in a couple of years we go back up to D2. That would be a nice situation to be in.
Well, as I said just before, you're in a perfect spot. Broward, there's a couple of other teams in Broward that aren't particularly doing well at the moment, personnel-wise. Perhaps they're seeing, some of these players are seeing your success and saying, hey, and listen, it happens. It happens everywhere around the world that, hey, this team's doing real well. They're in my backyard, maybe another 10 or 15 minutes from my house, but they're clearly doing something right. So hopefully, perhaps you continue to grow. And again, get back up to D2. It'd be great.
That would be a nice thing. I think that's where they need to go, and I think Corey's done a great job sort of leading the guys. And I told them at the beginning of the season, it's on you guys. I'm not babysitting. You know what I mean? And they reacted really well to that, and they've come through and sort of proven themselves. And there's a lot of young guys, like in their early 20s and late teens. I think we had this year maybe 8 or 9 guys that are they've come from the youth program, and they've stepped up, and they're becoming men. They're growing into the job, and it's mom and dad are not there for them to do it all. They've got to do it themselves, and they've proven that to me this year. So I'm just really happy that they did such a good season. Make Okapi look good once again.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Well, that's even when they lost, that's one of those games that I'm sure you guys will remember for a long time, as high scoring as it was. And congratulations on a great season, and we'll see you boys hopefully in the summer with some sevens, and then again next year for another title run.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
One thing I want to throw in there real quick, guys, is
never stop.
Next season I'll probably be stepping back from coaching at Okapi because on the college front, I'm going to be taking over St. Thomas University as the head coach there.
Of what sport?
Breaking news, my alma mater. Breaking news, my alma mater getting a rugby team. This is news to me.
Of what sport? Soccer. You're gonna have
He said. Charlie said soccer. He's from the north end of the country, Charlie. They don't take that sport seriously up there, except in Manchester.
So they're gonna have a rugby team.
No, mate. No, I'll be coaching rugby there. The president of the universities.
You're frozen.
Gavin's frozen. Doesn't matter where Gavin is. If he's it doesn't matter where he is. He's got 5G LTE. He still finds a way to get a frozen phone. It doesn't matter.
Always.
All right. Well, kick him out, Charlie. With that, save that face though.
Screw Gavin, as I always say.
Yes,
Bye, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Boys, drive safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
St. Thomas University, Charlie, my alma mater. Also, Rick Comiskey, former Florida Rugby Union Secretary's alma mater. We're trying to host a rugby combine there in early May, so hopefully we can get that going. That's great news. It's got some money there. They've got some great facilities.
Awesome.
I'm sure they'll probably jump into Enscrow to begin with, perhaps being as small as they are.
That's a small one. Is it
school, yes. Is
that in Miami-Dade or Broward?
It is in Miami Gardens.
Okay.
Yes, just off the 826 or 36.
Yeah. 26
and 37th Ave there.
We may also have another one that what's his name? Ryan was FMU.
Oh, Florida Memorial, yes.
Yeah. So
that'll be fun. Get a little rivalry going there. Well, that's breaking news there. We're breaking news, Charlie. But now who's going to coach? Who's going to coach Okapi now? They must be throwing him a few bucks.
Maybe they don't even need him.
Well, they just started a football program.
So this is
3 or 4 years ago now. So they got some extras if Gavin needs them.
Yeah, I think it's time for change.
Time for a change, says Cagney. All right, let's bring in the ladies. I see Brie Cocos in the green room, even though she's not in the middle. I'm going to bring in the wife here. Who can sneak in.
Yeah.
Sneak in on the side.
Hi, Andrea.
Brie's a little pixelated. The ladies from Port Miami. You're not too bad.
That's probably better than the original anyway.
We just can't see those wrinkles. We just can't see those wrinkles. We know you're
awesome. That's
we
great.
know you're an elder
Usually the
statesman.
camera adds 20 pounds, but if it also absolves all the wrinkles, then I'm cool with it.
All right, so we're here to talk about Fort Miami, who took care of Orlando yesterday. This was, during the regular season, they played twice. Fort Miami gone up to Orlando and lost narrowly, picked up a bonus point there. It was a big bonus point, I think, in the end, that ended up helping Fort Miami get to the second seed and hosted Orlando on Saturday, and it ended up being a bit of a destruction. Bree, you were there. The wife wasn't. I wasn't. So there's a look at the scores from this season. Obviously, Tampa took care of business this season against everybody, but I think Fort Miami have improved as every game has gone on. Talk about this game on Saturday, Bree, and what you guys have been doing right the last few weeks to really get it going.
Well, there was a turning point in the season for us, for sure. And it came about 10 minutes into the second half of the game we were playing in Orlando, our first game against Orlando. We didn't really have the confidence, the flow, and then something happened, I think, somewhere in the second half of that game, and then all of a sudden things started to fall together, and I saw players have the confidence. I saw things started to happen, plays started to happen, new players, it started to click with them. And I really think from that point on till the present day, we've had a continuous progression. And for an old sap like myself, seeing that progression is something that's really gratifying. Gone are the days where, thanks, Jose. Gone are the days that we can just, say, hey, we're going to go out there and we're going to win. We're going to stumble everybody. No, we really women's rugby has evolved so much in Florida and in America as well, in the world, but definitely in Florida, that, it's a slog. It's a long process. And we have really seen over this last 2-month period a real progression, at least on the Fort Miami side, and I'm really proud of the girls. And yesterday was kind of the culmination of that. I don't want to say culmination because obviously there's more to come for sure, but it's really each time we play, it's gotten better and better and better, and it's really exciting to be a part of.
Yeah, I got the wife here. Talk about, you've got a great mix of veterans like yourself, VA, etc., that know the game, can run through people, but then you've got a great bunch of youngsters too. Andrew, talk about some of and how how you've been recruiting. You got great numbers.
That's one of the things that I'm most proud about.
Let the lady talk over there. Let the president talk.
No, you're fine.
Going back and forth.
You're fine. I think we were gone are the days, as Bree said, where just one team is kind of blowing everybody out of the water, and a lot of that comes with the more of the club mentality that we were trying to foster within Fort Miami. We were, known for picking up ringers here and there and winning at all costs for a while there. And we really wanted to keep players around and develop our rookies. We wanted to make sure that the girls that were younger coming in were continuing to stay with Fort Miami and taking over captain spots and board spots and things like that. And it wasn't just the same old people doing those things year after year. So as Ross said, we have people as old or young as Bree, and we have high school seniors playing for us that are 18 years old. So we kind of run the gamut on age groups. We run the gamut on experience. We have girls starting for us that have never played a game of rugby in their lives before they came to Fort Miami this season. We have at least 12 girls this season that are new to Fort Miami. We have at least 4 that have never played rugby before. We had 6 try scorers on Saturday, so it was a complete team effort. Morgan Freeman scored a hat trick. She's always a great, addition to have back on the team, but we had 6 try scorers. So that really just speaks to the team effort and the team's hard work as a whole.
Really what we're trying to do is to establish a culture or build a culture. I think that we had one, teams go ebb and flow. I've witnessed firsthand, obviously Fort Miami, because I've been involved with from the beginning, but I've also have a firsthand view of the Tridents as well. Love the Tridents. Good win yesterday. So I see how teams kind of ebb and flow and grow. And one of the things that is very important to a team is to have that culture. Eric Spoelstra, Miami Heat, that's like the big thing, having that culture. And it really makes makes a big difference, especially for someone who's like the social chair. So that's important as well. So what we've established also is a great bonding thing. We have a bar now. We have a sponsor bar, Big Dog Station, Fort Lauderdale. Please, everyone go there. It's a fantastic place.
It is.
And what we've established, and when you have a team that grows and hangs out together, boom, you start to establish that culture. And that's something that we at Fort Miami has gone away from a little bit, but it's starting to grow back. So I don't know. What can I say? I'm in the swan song of my career, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, you've been involved with Fort Miami for how long, Bree? When did you start playing from the beginning?
From the beginning of
I started the club
coming together.
Yeah, because give us a brief history, Bree, about Fort Miami.
Okay. All right.
The two coasts coming
around
together.
2000, you don't have to tell me twice. Trust me, I love the story. Sorry, I've been drinking Jameson for most of the day. So right around 2006, I went to a rugby tournament, and I think it was Ruggerfest, and there were some girls playing rugby from Naples. And I said, hey, is there a Miami team? And they said, no, there's no Miami team, but we play. These were girls from Miami. We play with Naples. And I said, oh, let me get involved in that. And so the first year I ever played rugby in Miami or in South Florida, I moved here in 2004. I played for Naples women's rugby, and that was where we played. But then the group of girls that I talked to, we lived in Miami, and it was a no-brainer. Let's just move it over here, right? So in 2007, 2008, we brought it over here, and we became Naples Coconut Grove Miami Rugby because we lived in Coconut Grove, Miami.
Too many words.
Yeah, crazy, right? I mean, I still have the T-shirt. It's nuts. But then after a little while there, we said, let's be affiliated with a men's team because they have all the the stuff, the equipment. So we interviewed with both the Tridents and Miami Men. The Trident said, "Get out of here. Whatever, no worries." I mean, I get it, right? But they certainly, Gustavo DiPolito right there, you can tell. That was who it was. He was like, you're I don't want anything to do with the women's team. But then, and the men, G, Gerardo, I don't know, Ferreras, I'm sure you know him. They were like, yes, no problem. Let's take this culture, from Argentina. We did this thing, so we get it, Anyway, so we became affiliated with the men's team, and it was Miami Women's Rugby. And we were there for about a year, but it wasn't really a great fit. And so we just became our own club. And then right around 2011, we were really close with the Fort Lauderdale women's team and, friendly, but they always struggle with numbers and we always struggle with numbers. So we said, hey, let's combine forces. So right around 2011, 2012, we became Fort Miami, and that's it. And we've been there ever since. So
obviously, you had a ton of success, as the last few years. And obviously, I know you had a ton of retirements sort of at once. Where after was it the trip
nonstop? Always have retirements.
East was our last kind of big hurrah with that that group of people, and then we had a coaching change a few years ago. We brought in Mad Dog, that is well known to the Tridents and well known in South Florida as being kind of your forward and scrum master, as you will. We were lucky enough to keep Marie around to help with the backs and help with the kicking. She was our top point scorer for a very long time because she was kicking many conversions and scoring many tries. And then we were super fortunate to have Lindsay, Corin, Flash, however you know her, join us this season and kind of just bring it all together with all of the coaches. We have another assistant coach called Pedro. So we've just been also very fortunate to have a lot of people volunteer their time and help with the team this season, and it's really helped the team grow and helped our wins for sure.
Yeah.
No, it takes a village, and obviously you've got a tough game coming up. You got to go up to Titusville. Tampa also have to travel. A team that's been coming on the last couple of years really strong. Beat you guys pretty handily both games this season, but perhaps I think the game up at Tampa was a surprising result because I know you guys were starting to pick up the pace then, and it was a bit of a shocking result. I didn't expect you guys to win, but I didn't expect it to be as one-sided as it was. But without giving away any tactical specifics, what do you guys have to do to beat Tampa on Saturday?
I mean, I will say real quick that in Tampa, we did kind of in the last 20-ish minutes threw in a ton of our rookies. The game had gotten away from us, and we pulled a lot of our starters, whereas our opponents maybe didn't pull as many. So we threw in rookies to get game time, tons of people that hadn't got any game time. So the score wasn't super indicative of the game that was played, because we did want people to get game time.
Yeah, no, I was there for the first half of the game down here, and it was competitive for the first 25 minutes.
I think we do have comparable teams in a way. I mean, they have a lot of grit and a lot of toughness, a lot of athleticism, and for sure they have, they're a formidable foe for sure. At this point in the season, I do feel very confident in our evolution as a club. But I think the key to whoever is going to be the victor on next Saturday, will be possession, keeping possession. Because when both teams, when we have possession, when Fort Miami has possession, when Tampa has possession, they're able to do great things. And I know that seems super simplistic to say, because obviously whoever has the ball wins, right? It's like a really easy thing to say. But in rugby, obviously there's nuance. And in that regard, keeping possession, retaining possession, and not having those back and forth. In women rugby, you know how it goes. Like there's always a change of possession. If we can maintain possession and maintain the flow and have keep that control of the game, winning possession, winning the point of contact, I think we're going to have a lot of success. Because one of the things that we all know is that Tampa is very fit. Maybe they don't have as many 43-year-olds on their team.
We have a few.
Much to their dismay, I'm sure they're like, "Damn, I wish we had more."
I feel bad for them, of course.
Bree, how much
Sean.
do you think the mental part of the game is going to give you a possibility of actually winning? And
well, I mean, honestly, for me as a player in my advanced years,
it's a special game. When you play a final, it's a special game, right? You have played.
Yeah,
I guess
mentally is 70% for me. Mentally for me. Now, if I were 25, it would be maybe 30% because I would rely on my brute young strength. Woo, do it. But as an older player, yesterday was a prime example. You have to just play smarter. When you play smarter, you don't have to go to those extra miles. You don't have to do those things. You recognize situations, and that's the difference between old player. I think that's why there's an old boys bracket in rugby, because women just don't want to play anymore. I wish there was an old girls bracket, but you can still play if you're smarter. And for that game against Tampa, I think we have an advantage with some of the older kind of vibe going there. I mean, I respect that club immensely, but I think if we play smarter, there will be an edge there. And I mean, obviously, just put on the lidocaine patches and put on the heating patches. I mean, I don't know how many more. Look at this. I got a lidocaine patch on right now. I mean, I'm just give me all the drugs so I can play on Saturday.
One game. Although we looks like we will have a South at least, which is great. And the pressure will be on Tampa on Saturday. They're the ones that are going to be expected to win this game. They've rolled through everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
And the pressure will be, and they do have to travel. They got to at least travel across the state, and a similar distance to you guys. So I'm looking forward to. Here, I won't be at the game because I got to work that night, but I know Andrew will be and I'm sure I'll get full reports on how the game goes. So good luck.
It'll be a lot of fun
to you guys on Saturday. And listen, a great season so far.
Thanks.
And hopefully you can take it to the championship.
Whatever happens, this is all gravy, and I'm so proud of my club. We've done a great job. I mean, the progression, the growth is unbelievable. It's only up from here. It's all good.
I want to give a little shout out to my in-law Ali.
Yes, she did score a try also yesterday.
She was phenomenal yesterday.
She did score a try also yesterday. So Ollie's been a superb addition to our team.
I always tell her she's a great player, but she has to be really angry. I'm gonna try
to get angry.
Take care of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slap her before she goes into that game.
I've never seen her angry, to be honest with you.
I mean, I might have a few times back in the day, but yeah. And happy 40-something to Bree tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday!
Hey, it's okay. 43, man, 43. And listen, you guys, next time you got to have the twins right here.
Oh, listen, we've talked about it. We've talked about it in an off-season episode.
Make it happen.
I've been working on that. Okay, I have my archive of pictures from 10 years ago.
10?
Yeah.
Probably 35.
Well,
So that's
if you give us
coming.
some
That's
photos,
coming.
we'll put them up there.
I recently found
I
out
never know
that
which
they're
is
the
which.
longest tenured FRU players. They've been playing since 1991, which is they're the longest active FRU players. Right there.
Maybe they're ready for the Guinness Book of Records. You know,
I just want to see pictures of them without a gut. I know there's pictures out there. I know there's pictures out there of them without a gut, but I just remember them always
even
having
back
a gut.
then there was a little like pooch. But listen, the important thing is you have to put a disclaimer on your thing.
it's
that
going to be
says
pay-per-view. Don't worry.
I can't censor that. Just saying. So
Yeah.
I'll leave Charlie. Well, maybe we'll just
Language,
maybe we won't go live.
violence, nudity,
maybe
all of the things.
Maybe we just get Charlie working on his bleeps. We'll just
listen,
tape it.
Great stories for sure to be had. I mean, those guys, obviously I'm biased, but real legends of the sport. So,
yes, there are plenty of stories too, as long as they're willing to share them all.
Oh, you know what? Maybe just to avoid liability, we can do it like for the Tridents, not T4, okay? We'll do it like for the Tridents, so they get listen.
People want the X-rated. People go for the ratings. You want the clickbait, just go for it. Just all you got to do is put a little disclaimer. I'm sure Bermuda's would write something up for you, whatever.
Thor says he has some old pictures of the twins. Thor, send them over now to Charlie or me, and we'll put them up at the end of this episode, just as a preview.
I have many. So I'll get both of them together. I'll give them each a gin and tonic, or 4, beforehand. Then the juices will start flowing.
Okay, and let's do 2 hats with their names on it, okay?
Yeah.
So we can know who's who.
No, it's better that you don't actually.
Yes, they can just blame
more
each other.
Entertaining.
Well, good stuff, ladies.
For sure.
Good stuff, lady. You get the prime time slot on Saturday, 4:00.
Yes.
So that's fun.
Premiere
And
I like that.
best of luck, and hopefully I have a trophy at my house on Sunday morning.
Yeah, bring the Jameson.
You got it.
Thanks, Bree.
All right,
Thank you,
take care, guys. Bye-bye.
See ya. Oh, let me move back to my central position here, Charlie, at Twickenham Stadium.
Good. Full stadium.
Gomez was around for a minute there, but he's vanished. He probably got too tired. He's outside throwing hammers or something I saw in the background, but we'll get to him in a minute. So that's the women taken care of. Fort Miami, Tampa, 4 p.m. Saturday in Titusville. D4, Tallahassee and Gainesville. Is Mike Williams still on?
Yeah, no, but yes,
there he is. There he is. Do you want to jump into the other D4 side here before we get to D3?
Let's get to Pelicans because Mike was expecting somebody else.
Yes, coach.
Remember? So let's
go to Pellies. We haven't heard from the Pellies, Charlie. I don't think we can
get them.
Luis is muted. Make sure you unmute yourself, Luis.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Good evening,
Can you hear me properly? Yeah. Good.
See, that's a proper background, Ross. That's a proper background.
Yeah, you see that?
I'm impressed. We should have had them on earlier. This is from Pelicans. Luis, give us a brief rugby history about yourself before we get into the Pelly stuff, as you're new to the show.
Well, I moved to Florida probably 6 years ago from France, and then I left my family, my friends, everything back home in France, and I'm like, well, I have to do something, so I joined the local rugby club.
Of course.
So it's been 6 years now. I think seven years that I've been with the Pelicans, and for the past 3 years I've been the vice president of the club as well. So it's a real pleasure, honestly. Everything we've been, yeah, and
obviously a great season. I lost yesterday at Brevard, but Pellies, Charlie and I always talk about it. Have been coming on. Obviously, the Pellies were a great team back in the '90s. And in early 2000s, from what I remember, we're always a consistent contender. And then things kind of went downhill a little bit for a while, as I'm sure some of the old boys have told you. But Pelly seemed to be back this year. There's a good look at your season. Not many losses on there. Only one I see there to D2 Tampa. You beat Naples, which was a big, nice win there. 2 losses to Tampa. And then a loss to Hammerheads in early March. But it's a great season. And the last 2 or 3 years, you've really been coming on. What's been the secret, Luis, to this club's success rate lately?
Well, I think we try to rebuild the culture. I think the rugby culture is very specific to the sports, and it's really important. And then we made sure that everybody that we have around us as admins or people on the board or even leaders on the team love this culture and understand the culture of rugby. And then from there, it just picks up, you get better at games, you get better athletes that come to your team because they love the culture. And then you grow the old boys supports as well, which means a little bit of financials help, which is really important at our level in rugby. And then so slowly but surely we started to build back this club. We still have some long-term goals that we haven't achieved yet. And this year we really hoped we could have made to the final. Obviously a little bit disappointed with the score, but congratulations to Brevard. They played a very tough game. It was a very good 80 minutes of rugby, and they deserve to win. They deserve to win. So
yeah, talk about the game yesterday. Brevard, traditionally been, along with Palm Beach and Gainesville, have been Gainesville now down in D4, but the strongest D3 sides over the last few years. Tell us about the game. You guys took it to them.
Yeah, so we the first surprise. So we thought it was going to be a home game for us. So we didn't read. We didn't read the decision from the Rugby in Florida, the board. So we had one more points than them at the end of the season. So we're like, yes, we got the home game for the semifinals. Finally, we can get our revenge from last season. Blah blah blah, and then. So everything after this, we're like, no, you guys are still traveling to Brevard. And I was like, oh, all right. Well, I guess we have to do this. But we went there. It was a very tough game. The first half, I think, was 14-12. I think it was just we were up by 2 or something like that. It was very close. And then at the end, a few mistakes, a few bad decisions on our parts, drop passes, like little stupid stuff. No big mistakes. But Brevard was able to score on this and keep the score up. And they were up by 11 at the 80th minute, and then we scored a try and do the transformation at the last minute. So unfortunately, we didn't have the time to do the restart kick to hopefully win the game. But it was up.
Yeah, we had a couple of tight games yesterday. This was certainly one of them. Who are some players that have been leading this team, Luis?
Well, we have our president Alec Ganker that's been leading the team for a very long time. He was also part of the youth Pelican youth U19. It was I don't know, probably like 10 years ago, something like that. So
right
when we used to have a youth team, he's been around the club forever now, and he's a real leader, leading on the team. And then we had a few great additions this year. Shackleton Stewart is one of them. A few South African guys that came that were really, knowledgeable of the rugby.
That always helps.
And then a few guys from Crew also moved to the team this year.
Okay.
And they helped us on the coaching aspect. A lot of we got really lucky this year. Like the Okapi guys said, it's you never know at the beginning of the season if you're gonna have 8 people at practice or 40. It's really hard to. And then this year we got really lucky. We had numbers, and then we all were also able to put a second team and get some B-side friendly teams this year, which is one of our goals is to get a second team. Second team in the
because
D4.
You have new guys coming in that never played the game, and you're not going to throw them in there in a D3 game.
100%. Yeah,
it's critical to have that B-side. Even if, as you guys said, you only played, I think, a couple of games, but even that, it's like gives people that taste of rugby and having them come back. What are some of the challenges that you guys face being so close to Crew? Obviously a nice big metropolitan area, but how far are you guys apart field-wise?
Probably an hour, 45 minutes an hour.
Okay, so far enough distance. But how do you guys work together with anything, or is there much of a rivalry still? You're obviously not in the same division at the moment, but
not in the same division, but we play them every year. Which this year or last year as well was in the season, but no matter what, we always at least play a friendly or 2 with them during the preseason because of neighbor rivalry. We have to play them, and we love to play them. It's a great team. They have some very talented players.
You should play for a cup, the area cup.
Yeah, we already have a cup with Sarasota. We're thinking about doing a cup with Crew. Yeah, so this is a conversation
we don't have enough cups, Charlie, in Florida. We really don't. We really should have sort of a Dade Cup and a South Florida Cup of some kind, especially with the local rivalries up there.
With some money on it.
Just put some money in the cup. Everybody chips in $5. Well, good stuff, Luis.
I have a question about Luis. I know you guys have been trying to do some stuff at the youth level, correct?
Yes.
Tell us about that, because I would say that any club that every club should have youth. It's just so much better, I think. You coming from France, I don't have to tell you. I mean,
Yep.
it's like you need that to develop as a club, and it's just good for so many things. And I know you guys have been doing some stuff. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so finally we have an old boy that retired a couple years ago that decided to spearhead the restart of the Pelican Youth Program. So right now we're working hand in hand with Crew. They already have a youth program, and then we work with them and try to have some practices in Tampa, some practices in St. Pete.
Good.
And then as soon as we are able to bring enough kids to separate the two programs, we'll do that. But for now, it's a hand-to-hand program, with Crew.
That's where it all starts. Yeah, we talked to Gavin earlier from Okapi. That club is probably one of the biggest clubs on the East Coast numbers-wise, from all the way from U8s, U10s, all the way up to adults, and that's how we'd love to see every club get to that level. But obviously, it takes organization from the top. So we do appreciate the old boys that step up to help coach youth.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I know there's certain clubs where they've had major issues getting the old boys back involved, but I'm glad to see that. Well, good stuff, Luis. Unlucky yesterday with that, but as I said,
next year. There's always next year, right? There's always next year.
You guys keep coming on. Hopefully, we'll see you out on the Sevens circuit this summer.
Are you guys doing your Sevens tournament?
Yes. Right now we are on a conversation. So we still have some friendly games. There's the Boston College team that's coming down that's going to play us. So we're still in 15 mode right now, but we'll switch to sevens. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, thanks, Luis. Congrats on the good work over there, and hopefully we'll keep seeing you guys move up the rankings.
And great social media also. Your club is one of the best. Not the best, okay?
But not the best yet. Yeah. The social media. Yeah. What we did. Appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Oh, bye.
There's a word from Bree. Yeah. Girls youth rugby. Charlie and I talk about this all the time. Just hopefully Fort Miami perhaps as well. I know they've talked about getting the youth rugby going on the girls' side of things. It's been tried, and they need a little more support from the union on that side of things. It's big around the country, but just not down here. And all it takes is volunteers, Charlie, to get it going with the time and the effort, for sure. All right, we're jumping around all over the place here. Gomez, I see an outside view of Gomez's house.
Screw Gomez. Let's get to Mike Williams.
Let's get to Gainesville, the only road team to win yesterday. And we got Mike Williams and Tam, who's a new friend of the pod.
Unmute. There you go, brother.
Yeah.
Now we can hear Tam. Tam's got great video. Look at that clarity, Charlie. Great video. Mike Williams looks like he's in a hostage situation, but that's okay.
No, I like darkness, Ross. I like darkness.
Wait,
just for you.
Oof.
And my friend Ken.
That's all right. Well, listen, boys, congratulations yesterday. That was the big upset of the weekend. Gainesville, I know you guys got off to a slow start this year. I was hearing numbers, and I think we had some forfeits, and it was like, well, what's going on in Gainesville? They dropped down to D4. But way to finish the season, came on strong and held Daytona, who I don't think had lost a game, to 3 points yesterday. Tam, as head coach, give us first of all, tell us a bit about yourself. You're new to the pod, so give us a bit of your rugby background and history, and then talk about the game yesterday.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I'm new. I joined Gainesville in 2018. We still had a couple of guys that were here, but it being a college town, we have people coming when they graduate, they leave. So that's the reason of us dropping down to D4 for numbers. So we had to go back to D4 to kind of reset.
Yeah.
We did struggle with numbers for some time. I give credit to our captain, Alex, and the other senior guys. We just kept on going, trying to recruit, trying to rebuild. I mean, it's a rugby proud team. We respect the jersey. When we found it, when I joined the team, there were a lot of people who were passionate about it. So we didn't want to let it go. So we kept on working on the numbers. And finally, we had a team. And went up to our first game and we lost, but we never looked back after that.
Now, where are you from originally, Tam? And give us some of your rugby background.
Oh, yes. I'm from the rugby craze, southern part of Africa. South Africa.
Okay.
My rugby spans are from Zimbabwe with my early days in Bulawayo. I had some games all the way to the Eastern Cape, East London, and I also played in Botswana. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to Namibia. I still had hopes to play against the Namibian guys. They hit hard. Unfortunately, I didn't make it. But yeah, it stretches all the way from my early days in Bulawayo, in Zim, all the way to East London, where I played for the UFH Barbarians, all the way to Pretoria, the home of rugby. And I am a big fan of the Blue Bulls.
And you don't play for Gainesville because you look pretty much in shape.
The knees.
Oh, he's played.
Well, I can't see
He'll
those.
make an appearance every now and then. Yes, he does.
How does a South African end up in Gainesville, Tam?
Work. But yeah, my family moved to Indiana.
Okay.
A while back. Yeah, I did stay up in Indiana for some time, and then I just got a job offer for a company here in Gainesville, so I moved from Indiana down to Gainesville.
Excellent. Well, let's talk about the game yesterday, Daytona. Did you play them during the regular season? I can't remember if you did or not.
No, we didn't play.
There's your scores from this season. So, what did you know about Daytona, and what was the game plan to beat this team that was undefeated till yesterday, and you held them to 3 points?
So we had a game plan that we actually worked on depending on the type of players and the size and the numbers we had. You know, it's a time to play smart rugby. So we looked at what we had and we came up with a game plan that works best for us. And it's the game plan that we've been implementing since our initial game. We got a good wake-up call in Tallahassee, and we got back to the drawing board, and it's been working hard on our systems, getting the players to understand how we want to play this year with the personnel that we got, sticking to our structures, sticking to our system, and believing that this is the game plan that will take us to the finals and actually get us to bring the trophy to Gainesville.
Yeah, no, great season and hopefully it'll be a great finish next week. We'll get to that Tallahassee game in a second. Mike Williams, give us a bit of your rugby background for those that don't know about you.
I moved down here in 2018 from Charleston. Was a member of the Charleston Outlaws since 2008, which we also have a rich history up in Carolinas Union.
Yep.
Then I came down here in 2018 and joined Carey's staff, which was really good. And then, I've stuck with the team since then. So, off and on. I took a little bit of a break last year after the COVID situation and for personal and health reasons. And the guys gave me a call in January and asked me if I'd be ready to come back. And absolutely, it's been the most fun I've had on a team for a long, long, long time. We worked awesome. Very well together. You said we got off to a rough start, but I want to point out, we've only lost one game this season, and that was against Tallahassee up there in January. We've had a nice run since. We had an unfortunate forfeit against Ocala. I live in Ocala. I journey to Gainesville, as much as I can, twice a week and sometimes three. To help the team, but we had that tornado which literally came 200 feet from my apartment building. So it was a pretty scary day, and that was the day we were supposed to play Ocala down here in Ocala.
Yeah.
But we've won 6 on the trot, and we've got a very, very strong team and one we're very, very proud of. And like Tam said, we play a very progressive style of rugby, kick for territory. More of a Southern Hemisphere flair, and it's still progressing, and we're proud of each and every one of our guys. We literally came from the ashes, and all credit to Tam and all credit to Alex, the captain, and the guys that stuck with it, stuck together, and here we are, knocking on the door of the championship.
Have you guys? Do you have some players from abroad, from other countries?
Yes, we do. We got players from France in our ranks.
Mm-hmm. And then Mike, what's your official position, Mike? Are you assistant coach?
Yeah, I'm much better in a support role because my job is so demanding. I don't have the time to put into it at a head coaching role. I'm a level 200, but when I came back, it's more of a support role, more of a assistant and director of rugby role, which really works well for me because I'm an older guy. I've been around for a long time, and let these young guys take the reins. And I'm so proud of Tam. Not only are we really, really good friends, but he is an up and coming superstar coach. I see how the guys respond to him. I see how the guys work with him and work for him. And it is truly, when I say a unit, and I saw it from the beginning, as a coach, when you have something special. And this is one of those times when, it's a special, special time for all of us. And we are truly a unit. Everybody pulling from the same end of the rope. There's no egos. There's no one man better than the other guy. It is truly a unit, and we are a family, and proud to say that.
Well, that's especially critical in rugby, right? The ultimate team sport. You can't just go off on a run on your own. If you got no support, it's not going to end well. Tam, Tallahassee, Mike mentioned the loss to Tallahassee earlier this season. It was a heavy one. What have we learned from that game? Don't get into too many specific tactics. Don't give away too much today. If anybody from Tallahassee is watching, Mike Gomez.
I wasn't planning on doing that. I wasn't planning on doing that.
Yeah, but give us sort of a broad, view from 30,000 feet of how you can beat these guys.
We did beat them when they came down to Gainesville. So we know how they play, and we know their weaknesses, and we know our strengths. So we definitely know. I mean, we bounced back from an ugly win in the beginning of the season. So we worked hard because we had seen them, how they play. We've seen the kind of rugby they want to play. So we worked and planned perfectly well when they came down to Gainesville. Right. We will take it a step up. It's a final. We're going to be ready for them. And we run a good system that is going to give us the W at the end of the day.
I'm excited, Charlie. I want to go play for Tam, Charlie. Tam's got me fired up. I want to go play for him. I'm 45, Charlie. Tam's got me in the mood to go play some rugby. I can see how this team's been motivated. I'm glad you guys were playing in Daytona on Saturday because I'm not sure how much rugby would have got played in Gainesville yesterday. I'm not sure if you got hit by the weather.
We within 15 minutes of the end of the game. I was working very closely from Daytona. A few of them are airline pilots right there close. They were locked into the class, called us early, and we were on top of it and said, we're going to move the game up. We're willing to do that. We did, and got the game in. I want to give them hats off. Daytona's a class act. They really were on. They were on the ball with this, and I give them all credit. And congratulations to Tallahassee and Michael Gomez as well. And we're looking forward to playing you guys on Saturday. I mean, they're another class act. We played a lot of great teams that have a lot of really good things going this year, and it's good stuff for Florida.
Yeah, I'm glad to see these former D3 sides that have dropped down to D4. Sometimes you see that happening and you think, what's going wrong there? But I know sometimes it's just a case of numbers, and as Tam said, resetting. And now we've seen the success of those D3 sides coming through. Tallahassee, you guys, Daytona playing so well. It's great.
It was the perfect storm. We lost a lot of senior players moving. Some guys retired. Kerry stepped away. There were a lot of things that happened all at once. And then it was a rebuild.
Yep.
And we are where we belong right now. We are hoping that the FRU sees fit to move us up back to D3 very soon. But right now, but we are focused on where we are, and I know Tam can speak to that as well.
Yeah, no, I think D4 has been a blessing. I think it was one of those things that sort of came out of nowhere, and it's been a blessing, a sort of a place for teams to go to get themselves back into things, and rebuild again, especially during this pandemic time, and then come back strong. Hopefully, once we're through all this. Well, gentlemen, I graciously appreciate you coming on tonight. I know it's a Sunday night, family time, so I appreciate you jumping on. And good luck on Saturday, Tallahassee. I'm looking forward to hearing about that game. It should be one of the better ones. I think it's an early one, right? 10 o'clock. It's the first
10
game,
o'clock.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first game, and the Gainesville Roadshow continues.
There you go. Hopefully, get to see you down here in South Florida soon, boys.
See you
Yeah,
soon.
and we'll come on anytime you guys want us to come on. After next week, or whatever. Just give us a.
You have to win the game. You have to win the game to come on the podcast.
No pressure. No pressure. No pressure.
Win or lose,
Winners
come
take
on.
it all.
Yep, and thank
Charlie,
you for everything you guys do for Florida rugby. And Charlie, congrats to Uruguay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I was going to say, Charlie, we will win the game. No one gave us a chance yesterday at Daytona. Everyone had written us off. We had a great game with Daytona. They played, and we had a beautiful game of rugby.
Good stuff. Well, again, good luck on Saturday, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think I see Mike Gomez and that sketchy mustache hanging around, Charlie. You want to bring him in real quick? Gomez, are you alive? I see Mike Gomez and that sketchy mustache hanging around, Charlie. You want to bring him in real quick? Gomez, are you alive?
I was not going to bring him in. I was not going to bring him in because he did not provide video, which he always does. But as he's there,
I'm hearing myself on echo.
I know it's good.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to. I got one phone running this, and then I got the other phone running watching the show.
Well, listen, Gomez, we just had we had Gainesville on, but we had Okapi on already. Now we've got you. Tell us about that game on Saturday. It sounded like a thriller. Came right down to the end, and then give us a sort of preview of Saturday.
Absolutely. I mean, it was. Just a great game. No penalties for egregious fouls. No penalties for anyone doing anything dirty. It was just a big respect for the game, a big respect for the opponent. We came out pretty hot playing our game and took a pretty considerable lead going into halftime. Okapi, we traded tries with Okapi to start the second half, and then they got the ball rolling. And I remember at one point, we were up by 10. I looked at my team and I was like, look, they're about to go. They're going to cut it to 8. Sure enough, Rami hit the conversion. They cut it to 8. I said, all right, this is where the momentum hits. You guys make a decision now. And we were down by 1 point with 13 minutes to go. We managed to keep ball in their half. Every team, both teams made mistakes. But we were ultimately able to capitalize on the last one, and we scored. And it really was a thriller to the last minute because Okapi had a 4-on-2 within 5 meters of the try line, and we just happened to have Ronnie Layton just made a spectacular tackle and drove the man into touch.
Good stuff. I want to give a shout out to our referee for that game, Bruce Swallow. He came all the way from Port Orange, which is in the Daytona area, to ref that game because Tallahassee is a tough place to get refs to go to. So I want to thank him for taking that game.
Bruce, because he actually refereed 2 matches. We had our FSU reserve side hosted the first side of University of Louisiana Lafayette. He refereed every minute of that. FSU picked up the win in that 29-15 as well.
He's a trooper, is Bruce. He always comes through when needed. Let's talk about, before we let you go, let's talk about Gainesville this weekend. I'm not sure if you expected to see them in the championship game after you took care of them earlier this season, but they've been coming on strong. What do you guys got to do well on Saturday to take care of the Hogs?
Make sure we have numbers.
Yes.
You don't know that yet?
We went down to Gainesville. I think we had 16. And really that's 15 and 2 guys that are half a body. Playing Okapi, game numbers. One guy was just a reserve guy that was like, hey, I'm only coming on in an emergency, and he came on. So having numbers will definitely help us out. Playing our game, Gainesville talked about when we went down there, they knew what game plan we were going to have and what they had to do to negate it. Sure enough, we like to play a wide game, and they had us play them on a postage stamp. So of course that's going to negate our efforts. So what do we have to do? We just have to try hard. We have to try hard, but most importantly, we just have to have fun. Wins and losses don't matter. It's all about just playing rugby and getting guys to play rugby, getting guys to enjoy the sport. Tallahassee, is riding the struggle bus. It's pretty hard when you don't even have an official location to train. You just kind of show up to a park and hope you don't get kicked off. It's hard when the official head coach, myself, misses half the training sessions because he's busy coaching another team.
Speaking of which,
we're just a group of guys that like each other, that like the sport, and we're committed to each other. That's who we all play for, is just each other.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's cute.
Go ahead, Charlie.
No,
I know what's coming.
You just mentioned you're coaching also the FSU boys, so that they're going to be playing a semi-final this Saturday, and you're going to be playing. But you being an early game, you may be able to get there, right?
Yeah, right. My girlfriend Natalie asked me the same question while I'm sitting here building a deck. She's like, "So, stress you out, but what?" And I was.
You have to stay still, Mike. I think your audio is screwing up because you're moving.
Stay still, Michael.
Oh, sorry. I got some things in the works, trying to plan things around, whatever. With the FSU match, we should be a little more flexible on kickoff times. Maybe schedule that later. Maybe stay near Titusville Friday night. Wake up, play that game, and just get out of there as quickly as I can. But today's Sunday, so ask me again Monday morning when I'm ready to start planning stuff.
Your opponent's already changed in the last hour. You were originally playing FIU, but now it appears you're playing UNF. Listen,
yeah.
I don't know what's going on. The semi-final format has changed about 4 times since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, well, hey, and I understand that, but you guys are coming from, but you can't blame Kirk on that. It's not up to Kirk. It's about Kirk is managing the shit that he's handed, right? So when he gets a big pile of turds, it's up to him to make it look as good as possible, which I think he's done a spectacular job of.
Listen, if everybody's in agreement with it, that's fine. UNF, we're going to play a team they lost by 8-2, and I know they're a little banged up, and now they got to play you guys who just beat them by 3-4.
Right. Hey, and honestly, when I was receiving the call, like I told Kirk, I was like, hey, I've got no problem who we play in the semifinals, but you better ask him if he's okay with playing FIU. I know I'd sure as hell want Ronnie in a semi.
Listen, I'm sure Ronnie's appreciative for the 2.5 hour or 3 hour drive more than the 8 hour drive. So good luck on Saturday, Mike. I don't know how you do it, mate, but you're a trooper, and I know rugby in Tallahassee with both teams wouldn't be happening without you. So we appreciate the hard work you put in on a daily basis.
Hey, and thank you guys, and of course, thank you guys for all you guys do. It's a wonderful community here in Florida, and like as I was talking to Gavin last night, hopefully everyone just keeps it positive, keeps the positive energy going. If you got anything negative to say, just wait till fucking May.
Okay. Well, I hope to see you at Surfing Sevens, either with Tallahassee or Florida State. I know it's a long way, but we've got some serious competition coming in.
Yeah,
there's some prize.
Maybe we'll make a vacation out of it.
There you go. All right, Mikey, good luck this weekend.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, his audio was terrible.
Yes.
He does a good job, Mike Gomez. That man is a machine. I don't know how he does it. He's going to play for Tallahassee at 10 o'clock on Saturday and then go coach FSU at 2 o'clock probably.
I wonder what Federico, a.k.a. Gonzalo Torres Garcia, is doing.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, are we done with D3 and D4? I think we are.
I'm not sure, but I think we are.
We're all over the place. Let's go to D2. I think that's all we have left. D2. Tridents. We try to get in touch with Tampa. They're sort of the mystery men of Florida rugby, Charlie. Them and Orlando.
Well,
so we do have Federico Garcia from the Miami Tridents, who got a battle yesterday from the Swiffle Hammerheads. Is he there, Federico?
I just don't know. He
there he is.
Thank you guys to let me on.
There he is. Welcome, Feddy. How are we doing?
Nice to see you guys as always. Thank you for having me
on Saturday.
Yesterday, we knew it was going to be a tough match. You guys didn't pull away till late in that one. Give us a view of that game from your eyes yesterday.
Oh, that was probably the toughest match we've had this year, and by a fair margin. So first, a big congratulations and thank you for Naples for the phenomenal match, the great attitude that those guys put up throughout the 80 minutes and at the social after. We really enjoyed that one. They really pushed us to the edge, I would say. But yeah, recovering. Looking forward to next weekend, to seeing the rest of the teams there. We really enjoy those final weekends that you guys put together. But moving on into the next phase of the season.
Yeah, seeing some highlights here from Athlete Range, which is Kaya Martinovic, the referee in this game, mentioned earlier, had hosted 3 games on Saturday, 2 playoff games, and the high school game was basically a playoff game because whoever won that game qualified for the playoffs, and whoever lost the game was going to finish in 9th and end their season. So 3 playoff games basically in one location. I can see the field's taking a bit of a beating.
Yeah,
but you guys got up to it. Naples was Hammerheads were hanging around with you for a good while, Fede, right?
No, they really pushed us. They got it. They started the game really on top of anything with really almost brutal physicality. Caught us a little bit off guard, but I really want to give a big congratulations to our substitutions, because I really think it was their impact that really changed the game for us. So we've been working a lot on building a nice. I see Jose and my brother are spamming the comments already, but we have really, and I really want to thank, like I know some of the guys that have been on the podcast before have said, the entire organization really played a part in this game. So all the subs, all the guys that come to practice, all the guys that showed up to the game, is really more testament to them than say the starting 15.
The water boy.
Water boy, the key boy.
Who was that game? That was somebody I know well getting high tackled there. Charlie knows that person very well as well. I think depth has been a big plus for Tridents this year, right? Fede, I know in the past you've had a solid 17, 18, and then when you've had to go deeper than that is when you've had trouble. But obviously you've had great success over the last few years. But it seems like the depth has been really good this year.
Yeah, exactly. We've been able to carry on a good amount of guys from last year and brought up some new familiar faces. Charlie's lovely son Mateo, to name a few. But yeah, that's really what's been giving us the key advantages in these games is those substitutions coming on.
No, it's great to see. I know Charlie is happy to see one of his sons playing rugby again, because he's a very talented individual, and I'm sure he's helped you guys to where you've got to this year. Tampa, obviously you guys didn't play them during the regular season. I spoke to my dad was at the game yesterday against Boca, and he said that they're a very physical side, similar to Hammerheads. What are you guys going to have to do to beat them on Saturday?
So to be honest with you guys, not really familiar with Tampa. Noting to the fact that we didn't play them this year, and of course we haven't been able to infiltrate a video from them, so we really don't know what to expect. But we're going to take it just like we take any of our games. We're going to focus on our structure, on our system, and really try and play to our advantages.
I was just seeing Gerardo Ferraris giving the thumbs up signal for the try there. I want to give a shout out as well to all the assistant referees who have come out the last couple of weeks to get us a team of 3 for every playoff game, which I think has been key to every game being a fair contest. It's always good for a referee to have 2 extra sets of eyes out there. Well, you guys get the 2:00 game on Saturday, Fede?
Yeah.
So trip up to Titusville. How many state titles would this be in a row, Charlie? You know better than me.
6.
It would be 6.
We can see on the stars. We have to get new shirts again. That's always a pain in the ass, but you may have to get one big star for 5 and then a little star next to it for 6. I know that's what I think Peñarol do. They've won so many titles in Uruguay.
Yeah.
I think that's what they end up doing.
I don't want these guys to lose because my son is playing, obviously, his first season here, but maybe next year, maybe yes. So somebody, somebody else
can what we do there is that we bring on Tommy, and it's another son of yours first season, so we can't lose them.
Hopefully, that would be my dream.
I see Austin Parrish talking some smack in from Palm Beach, talking some smack in the. He wants to know if you guys want to play. We really should have D2 versus D3 champions.
Hey man, I proposed that last year, and they just didn't listen to me. But these guys are going to be busy because they're going to Texas. Texas in 2 weeks, right? If you win.
Yes.
Let's not talk about it. I'll put my superstitious hat on, and I don't want to talk about that for now. I want to focus. I want to focus on the final, so I don't have any excuses if something happens. But no, even better than a friendly with Palm Beach, I'd really like for Palm Beach and Brevard to come up to D2 because I think they have the team to do it.
Oh, I have another idea.
I really think they have the team.
Suppose everybody move to D3.
Yeah, or the same division, D2 or D3, whatever you want to call it.
One
D2
division
and a half.
of men.
One division would be nice.
That's exactly. I was looking up in Uruguay. They have 11 teams in first division.
Yeah, but everybody in Uruguay is a half hour from each other, Charlie. It's one side of Montevideo to the other.
It is what it. No, that's not true.
Well, Fede, thanks for joining us, mate. Just looking at those highlights, it was definitely a very close match till you guys pulled away late there. I think it'll be a good warm-up for that final next weekend, 2 o'clock in Titusville. Tridents versus Tampa for the D2 title.
We were hoping to get the coach, the hard coach that you have.
We keep trying to find him. I know he exists. We keep trying to get him on the show, but he's
our coach.
Exclusive, yes.
Dimitri, no, he's very exclusive with his time. So
we have to find out what happened to your face, Fede. We got to find out what happened to your face.
Talking about that.
Was it the girlfriend or was it
hickey?
One of the Naples guys gave me a hickey. Yeah.
There you go. With his boot. Oh, good stuff. You guys have had a great season, and yes, there is.
Yeah, there is rugby, and we actually beat the Pumas B side today.
I was going to say, aren't Penn all in first place in SLAR?
Maybe.
Really, Charlie's really pulling on technical.
I'm pretty sure the Penn all are in first place in SLAR. I'm not gonna quote anybody on that, but I'm pretty sure
that's a testament to the Argentinian coach. But that's fine.
Is he?
Good stuff, Fede. I know there's a good, healthy rivalry between you guys and the Uruguayans, and hopefully maybe they will see each other. And yeah, it was 27-20. Peñarol over Jaguares this past weekend in the fourth date of the tournament. It's been exciting stuff down there in SLAR. You know, you can catch some of the games, I think, on the stream if you're not into MLR. So. All right, well, good stuff, Eddie. Good luck on. He's changed his name to Gonzalo now, but good luck. Charlie changed it. Good luck on Saturday, and maybe another title coming back to South Florida to the 305.
We'll see you there. Gracias, Gonzalo.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
And we have to say, great season to Boca, as well as Naples. Sorry, Hammerheads. It always seems to be those 4 teams, right, over the last few years that have really stepped up and taken that D2 mantle. All right, Charlie, I think we've talked to everybody. Let's look at some graphics of this, of what we've got.
Yeah, just before because it's been 2 episodes. I have forgotten to. I just wanted to showcase the social media for Daytona.
They do a great job.
They do a great job. Very consistent, week in, week out.
Ineligible. I think Steven Hugart is ineligible every other week.
Very comprehensive, putting out the lineups, the scores, the games.
Somebody
with some graphics.
Somebody with some graphic skills is involved in that team and putting it to good use. I love it.
Yeah, this is Jared
Lanza. I see my boy Skip Parr there, my FAU alumni, top right.
But even if you have the skills, you have to do it, and we don't have too many teams that really take care of the social media, but this is, I think, the best one in the state. So
somebody taking good photos as well. You need that too.
Well, they have a good photographer on the team.
Look at that inside center, Charlie, on this graphic. That's a boy I would not like to run into on a straight inside cut. Oof. Some big boys. Yeah. No, good stuff there. Green fire. Look at that.
Yeah, very.
They do have some of the sketchiest haircuts in Florida rugby.
Oh, I think Brevard has.
Doc Brown, legend, Florida rugby
legend. And these you may have noticed they keep somehow the stats of the caps of the players.
I saw that.
Pretty amazing.
Doc Brown must be over 1,000 for Daytona. We need to have a Florida Rugby Hall of Fame, Charlie. That man would be in it.
Oh, we don't have one?
Not as far as I know. Maybe we need to start a Rugby FL Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm not very into that, to be honest.
All right, let's get to some graphics. What we got coming up this weekend?
Well, he was,
there's a review of the state finals in Titusville. 4 games, back to back to back to back. What a day of rugby that's going to be.
it's really awesome. You didn't go last year to Titusville?
I did not go.
Titusville?
Actually, it always sort of coincides with the start of my soccer season. I do some soccer broadcasting, so unfortunately,
it's
a little closer. I'd be able to come to some games on Saturday, but I will be.
It's a pretty nice venue. It's pretty nice. A well-sized field. Hopefully, it's in good shape. They have some stands there. It's
nice.
Really nice.
I will be refereeing some U19 quarterfinal action this weekend, which we already just found out the matchups for that due to a slight snafu in the standings. So there's our Division 2. There's the results from Saturday, 39-27. It was a close one in the end. Tampa, Boca actually won the second half of that game, Charlie.
Oh, they did? Wow.
They did. It was 20 to, I think it was 20-0 at the half, or somewhere around there. It was 14-12 Boca in the second half, but they just found themselves down too early in that one. They got almost all of that game in before that nasty storm came in that delayed the FAU UCF to today. But they got that one in. Got a little wet the last 15 minutes, but good win for Tampa. That should be 4 great finals, Charlie.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Next, Women's Division 2. We talked about the top 2 seeds will face each other. Charlie's calling them Tampa Bay, but I'm going to ignore that. This Saturday. That's at 4 o'clock. Well, it's an ongoing thing, Charlie, because Tampa, they can't make their mind up. It's not just rugby; it's other sports as well.
Yeah.
Palm Beach took care of Sarasota, obviously in the other semi-final. So Palm Beach will play Brevard. Matchup we thought we would see
in a repeat of last year's.
We're going to do predictions, and we'll do predictions at the end, Charlie.
Okay.
Oh, I got to clear my throat. Mute myself while I do that. Division 4, what a fun. Obviously, we had those 2 unfortunate forfeits in the quarterfinals, but the semifinals lived up to billing, Charlie, and we'll see Gainesville and Tallahassee. The 2 big college rivals, college town rivals, will meet each other in Titusville.
Maybe we need a Division 5 here in Florida, you know?
We don't even have a Division 1. So that's the early game, 10 o'clock on Saturday in Titusville.
Okay.
All right, boys U19s. We haven't talked about boys U19s much. They did have their final round of games this weekend, and I didn't think the standings were going to change much because all the teams we thought would win up at the top won, but then Key Biscayne defeated Tampa, and apparently the standings were incorrect going into the weekend. So my what I thought were the matchups were not the matchups because Jacksonville had one more win, and I want to give a shout out to Jacksonville, Charlie.
Oh my God!
This is going to be listen, they got to look at the schedule, and we can't have them coming down to South Florida 2 weeks in a row before the playoffs because now they're going to have to come down the 3rd week in a row. As you can see, this is the results from this week.
These are the scores from yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, Boca took care of the Hammerheads relatively easily. Boca finished the season undefeated, the regular season, that is. Key Biscayne with a big win. That was to clinch a spot in the playoffs. They ended up jumping all the way to, 5th, Charlie, I think, Key Biscayne in the end? From 8th. Yes, 5th. They were 8th. You haven't updated your numbers on the left.
Oh, my table is screwed up.
No, that's good, though, because that shows where they were last week. They were 8th last week, jumped all the way up to 5th with that win, skipped over 3 teams. So now
you have 3 teams with 14 points there.
Yeah, they will play. So we'll talk about the matchups in a minute. Let's go back to those scores, Charlie, from yesterday. Yeah, there you go. A copy with a Jacksonville again. They just came down to play Boca last weekend. Came down here again, another 5-hour drive to play Okapi, and they were in it against Boca for the first half, and then obviously in it again here. They only lost by 11 points to Okapi. Now they're going to have to come down again this weekend to play. Well, we'll see who they play in a second. And then Gibbons took care of Cape, so Gibbons finished the season with just that 1 loss to Boca. So let's take a look at our quarterfinal matchups, Charlie, for this Saturday. All of them in the South Florida area. Mm-hmm. I've been texting coaches today trying to find the times. Alan Lawson from Wellington said his reply to my text was noon or 2 p.m. waiting on Cape to tell me the time, except they're not playing Cape. They're playing Cape. So that game's either going to be at 12 or 2. Boca definitely at 2. Okapi.
I'm going to give a little shout out to Evan that put these things together today.
Listen, Evan had a rough weekend. Evan had a rough weekend. He had a lot.
Usually we don't have these. Usually we don't have these things right away.
No, we haven't got to the FCC stuff yet, but we will in a second, and we'll talk about that. But there's your 4 quarterfinal matchups. Boca playing Jacksonville. Boca took care of Jacksonville relatively easily last weekend. Gibbons, Cape. So we got rematches, Charlie. Gibbons just played Cape this weekend, so another rematch there of that match. Okapi hosting Hammerheads. And then I think the game 4 is probably the most interesting one, Charlie. Wellington against Key Biscayne. I think I may end up refereeing that one. Gardner Gibbons, I know, is going to be a late game. They cannot get their field till 4 o'clock or later. The rest of those games should be at 12.
That's great. And Gibbons, the night game is awesome.
It is fun there.
They should definitely do it at night.
It's a little bit of an inconvenience to some people who have to work, etc. But yeah, exciting stuff there. Then obviously they take a week off for Tropical Sevens, then come back for the semis on April 23rd, hosted by the winners, the better seeds. And then, well, actually, it does say winner of G1 and G2 are going to be home. I assume that's right.
No, that home thing, I'm not sure about it, to be honest.
I would assume that they're going to seed. So if whatever the higher seed is, I'm going to predict that actually Wellington Key Biscayne could be the upset of these 4 games. I think everything else is going to go to the home team.
Yes.
And then the finals, we just got a full schedule. Well, not a schedule, but a sort of an idea of what's going to happen on the 30th in Wellington. Everything 14s, 16s, and below. It's going to be an exciting day out at Wellington's new fields there. What else we got, Charlie? FCC?
Yes. Let me see if I got this is the right one. No.
I
had to make 2 graphics because
let's explain here. We had the games from yesterday. UCF FAU started on Saturday. They got 20 minutes in. FAU was up 5-0, and UCF were down to 13 men. And that nasty weather came in and blew that game away. So they had to restart the game completely today at noon. And UCF won that one by 3 tries, 36-21. That score is definitely wrong. UNF won that one, 22-18. The score is kind of backwards there, but UNF advancing. And then
I always have to do one of these. It's
fine. We'll sort it out. And then FIU USF was a great game, 34-26. So the home teams all won. Now, we've had back and forth conversations with Kirk from the FCC all season about who was playing who in the semifinals. Initially, it was going to be, well, we're going to do it geographically. Then it was, no, the top seed's going to host, and we're not going to reseed. Then the top seed's going to host, and we will reseed. And in the end, they ended up doing it kind of geographically. So FSU will play UNF. Those 2 teams just met 2 weeks ago with FSU winning 27-0. And FIU will play at UCF. How did they do against each other earlier this season, Charlie? I think it was a relatively close game, wasn't it?
I think, yeah, it was very close. Let me see if I can.
Anyway, as of today, that is a semifinal matchup. So I'm not saying it can't change between now and tomorrow, Charlie. It just changed right before we came on the air. It was originally supposed to be FIU at FSU and UNF at UCF.
Yeah, I just think it's not. It's so much better for everybody if you have things set up from the beginning.
100%.
And this travel thing you just mentioned, Jacksonville. They're gonna have to make three long trips in a row. Listen, we know Florida is long, so you have to travel. That is, that's a given. So
no, 100%, but
you just travel.
We shouldn't have 2 straight road games at the end of the season with the potential of them being also on the road in the first game of the playoffs. That's just not fair. I don't think you can spread those road games out, spread the cost out. I do feel for Aaron Church and his Jacksonville boys, but they've come down and played 2 hard matches these last 2 weeks. They'll be ready to go. So I do feel a little bit for UNF as well. They obviously have a shorter trip to travel, but they had a very close game against UCF earlier this season while they lost to FSU by 4 or 5 tries 2 weekends ago. But if they, as I said to Gomez earlier, if they agreed to it, then so be it. So those are our semifinals: 1 in Tallahassee, 1 in Orlando. So is that it, Charlie? I think that's it, right? 14s, U14s, and 16s. I know we are going to have at least semifinals on the 23rd. There's not too many teams in those brackets, so I think we're going to at least have semis.
It's basically the 4 teams from South Florida.
Yeah, the 4 teams against each other in both the 14s and 16s. Those won't be happening until the 23rd, however. Well, we got through it, Charlie. Hour and a half, a lot of chaos, some great guests. Thanks to everybody that came on. Thanks to you for putting all the graphics together. We're almost there. As I mentioned, 7th season will begin June 4th at my tournament in West Palm Beach, Surfing Sevens. We've got Birmingham Mosley coming from from England for that. I also heard from Saratoga Rugby last week. They're coming down from upstate New York.
Really?
For the tournament. So we got some serious competition coming. I heard
So
from Jacksonville Wolverines reached out today about coming down to play U19s, U7. So we're looking to be a good little tournament.
Is that team from England like a good team, or you don't even know?
No, if you look up the history of Birmingham Moseley, they were at the highest levels in the 1980s. They used to play Wasps. They were before they really went to a national division. They were a great team. They had some financial troubles. They were supposed to come last year for my tournament, but with COVID, the travel got scrapped. So they're going to come this year instead. So we're looking to have a nice little elite division, perhaps. I'm not sure where
you should try to find, one of those national teams of the Caribbean that would want to come, because it's sort of cheap for them. And
I do need to get my marketing going now that I've got my entry fees, etc. Always offer a discount. Obviously, the teams traveling from overseas, a significant discount to entry fees, because we know obviously travel is not cheap. So if you're interested, reach out to me, rossdavenport@gmail.com, surfing7srugby@gmail.com, or however you want to get in touch via Facebook, Twitter. As you can see, Jose wants me to. Is that you or me?
I don't know.
Or is he texting his mistress by accident?
Why don't you DM me?
Yeah, DM us, Jose. We're the famous ones. Christ.
Hey,
all right.
Shout out to Jose, a big supporter.
Good stuff as always, Charlie. We'll have some. You heading up there to Titusville?
Yes, I am.
So we should have some serious highlights.
We're going to do extended highlights.
Extended highlights from all 4 finals next week. Maybe a little bit from the U19s as well. But we're almost there, Charlie. It's going to be 4 exciting finals next weekend, starting at 10 a.m., all on the same pitch.
Looking forward to it.
Good work as always, sir. Again, thanks to everybody that came on. We had good numbers tonight. So thanks to everybody that checked out on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget, you can watch the replay whenever you want. Listen to the replay via your favorite podcast app. Overdrive is what I use. I know we're on there.
To Austin.
I don't know what he's going on about. Oh, Austin Parrish. He wants the rematch. Maybe we can host it at Surfing Sevens. Let's do it, Jose. A little 15s action. Predictions. Charlie, let's do it before we go real quick.
Oh.
Who are your 4 champions? Go.
Okay, so let's put them on the screen for a second. So I'm gonna go with I sort of like Gainesville this time around. They seem very, very solid, and
coming off a big win. That was a massive win over Daytona.
Yeah.
I think Gainesville have got a chance in that one.
I'm gonna have to say Palm Beach. They just look so strong this season.
Yeah, I don't think that game's going to be close.
I'm gonna have to go with Miami Tridents.
I would say that game is going to be close. 5 to 7 points, yes, but I would go with.
I'm sort of thinking it's not going to be close. I put 20 point spread.
Okay, we'll revisit that next week. You got
okay
Brevard wrong last week. I got Brevard right. And then Tampa, Fort Miami. I'm going to have to go with Tampa as much as
I think it's going
to be close. I don't think it's going to be anything nearly as blowout-ish as the last 2 meetings.
I love upsets, of course, and I always think that at this level, if you get to the final, you can't be too far away from the other team.
No.
And it comes down to basically who you have that day and how you play, and and this, as Mike said earlier, Bree, 70%.
70% mental. That's right. There should be some great championships up there.
And play smart. Play really smart.
That's it. Play smart, run straight, and make your tackles. You'll win games. All right, Charlie. See you next Sunday, mate.
Okay, Ross. Thank you very much.
Good stuff. Appreciate everybody joining in.
Bye-bye. See you next week.